Hey everyone, we're here today at the Centennial Concert Hall in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Preparation for the arts is very much the same as preparation for any sport. Today on the Coast to Coast Sports Show, we're going to show you the parody, so check this out. You're watching the Coast to Coast Sports Show. Hey everyone, welcome back to our show. Do you hear that? Not much of anything. It's solace. They say free your mind and the rest will follow. Check out how these athletes happen to get in the zone when they clear their mind just before a game.
When I step onto the field, I need to be ready, physically and mentally. Brown bag lunches are my best friend. You can't always trust the stuff you find on the go. I use sugar as part of my performance prep. If I'm not getting enough energy, I won't exert enough energy. It's as simple as that. Before the 2012 Olympics, we had a nutritionist come in and help us calculate the amount of carbs we ate pre-game. We crunched the numbers and realized we weren't even getting half of what we needed. I literally doubled my carb intake and sustained my energy for the whole tournament. RedPath and ChemFund helped me take care of my body. With their support, I can afford the best foods and supplements. I am proud to be Canadian.
My name is Haley Daniels and I'm on the Canadian national team for whitewater slalom canoeing. I paddle in the sport of canoe slalom, where you go down green gates and up red gates. It's on whitewater and it's a ton of fun. But our sport has had a major setback, where the men have been in the Olympics and the women have not. We formed together, all the women's canoeists across the world, and fought for gender equality, and we are proud to say that we'll be in the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. I have been training for 10 years, and these next 2 years are the years that count. We have the Pan Am Games in Lima in 2019, the Tokyo Test Event in October, and the Olympic qualifications in Spain this year. All of these events are self-funded, and that's why we need your help. Training and competing for the chance to be one of the first women to compete at the Games in our sport is going to be epic. CanFund 150 Women is supporting female athletes. Become 150 Women by donating $150 or more. One of the youngest 150 women is 23, and the oldest is 82. Everybody is pitching in to try and see us get to the Games. Join an exceptional network of women coast to coast and go to mycanfund.ca so that together we can be epic.
Following your maestro is the same as following direction from a coach. When this happens, it creates a beautiful thing, harmony. So check out what happens when these groups are in sync.
I'm gonna get you my pretty, and I'm gonna serve you fierce too. Dog song and the icy kitty, do you know it's me? go. Can you feel it? Two sides of the story, different spas. Here's the choice you had. On my wrong, flick my one, boom, out be gone. Cause we shine like gold. C-K-E-D, yeah, you better run from me. We'll come back to steal the crown, so you better back down.
Hey, here's your fit tip of the day. This is especially for basketball players and football players. In your off season, we strongly encourage you to go take some ballet lessons, especially for your footwork. It tends to be able to give you the ability to hang in the air and do 180 and 360 continuous jumps. So definitely something in your off season that you should take a look at.
This Super Sport moment brought to you by...
Hey everyone, we're here with the Coast to Coast Sports Show at Heights Archery, just on Portage Avenue in Winnipeg. And Ryan, the executive director from Archery Manitoba, happens to be here with us today. Ryan, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us here.
It's great to be here. We want to talk a little bit about what's happening at Heights today. We see that there was a lot of shooters that are lining up. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, well, today we're hosting a nationally sanctioned archery event, which means basically local archers of all different varieties come out and participate in an officiated event at a local range that will have their scores entered into a national ranking base to kind of keep everybody on pace throughout the country that are shooting at their local event or their local club.
Yeah, that's great. When we were out there taking a look, we noticed that there's a lot of young athletes, para-athletes. Maybe touch a little bit on that and explain to us some of their past and upcoming successes that we're looking for.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, like I said, we have quite a variety of athletes participating in archery, from recreational up to nationally and internationally competitive archers. And Manitoba's lucky to have quite an extensive history of athletes in archery, despite it being a smaller community, that have made an impression. And as we see some of those athletes age out, we still continue to see people coming up, whether they're younger or they're older, but they're involved in the para side. So we've been fortunate to have a group of athletes continue to kind of come through. It's been fairly sustainable, and today we've got a variety of archers that are doing some different things that have opportunities at the national level. We have an archer that's going to be participating in the Indigenous American Games in Halifax this summer, and we have a national para development athlete that's shooting here, and she's probably looking to go to the 2024-2028 Paralympic Games, so that's exciting. As well as a number of our provincial team athletes that compete at national events on an annual basis, as well as some of them going down to the States to shoot at some of the bigger North American events.
Yeah, and speaking about events, next month, I believe mid-February, there's a big event that's coming up at the Sonova Center.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that event.
Yeah, for sure. Locally, one of our largest events that we'll host on an annual basis is our provincial championships. And we're going to be hosting an indoor target provincial championship. We have an indoor and an outdoor, so one of two of the biggest of the year. And we're going to be doing it at the Sonova Center, as you mentioned, and looking to have 100 plus shooters for us is a big event during the winter. And going to be crowned some provincial champions of different age and equipment categories. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we can't wait to be out there to take a look at some of that exciting footage. Now, I guess here's a little bit of a follow-up. Some individuals like myself are novice when it comes to shooting. So what would you say to try to encourage people to pick up a bow, shoot, or just get involved?
That's a great question. I think, the sport offers a lot of different opportunity to different people. So I would say to anybody, whether they want to just come shoot with family or friends on a weekend, come to your local range or look up your local club and come give it a try. It's a relatively inexpensive sport to come out and do on a try-by-try basis. Usually anywhere between $5 and $20 to take part in a one-off activity. And then from there, there's quite a large community of people that are shooting competitively at tournaments like we're at tonight, which are recreational in nature for some, but are also training tools for people that are going up. So, it's got something for everybody, whether it's target or 3D, or whether you're looking to get into bow hunting. Just coming down to your local range like tonight and getting involved in the activity really offers just a stepping stone to a lot of different areas.
Ryan, thanks for taking the time to meet us here today. Once again, great stuff coming your way. One of the 150 sports. Get out, get active, get involved.
Today's program brought to you by Eliminator RC. Proud to be part of your community.
9 Round, your boxing connection.
Making her way down to the ring. This will be a 3-round affair with 1.5-minute rounds at the 190-pound division. And if you recognize the name Many Wounds, you should. You will see in her corner her brother, Zach Many Wounds, who has fought for Dakota in the past. An excellent athlete across the board, and we're expecting the same from Khalida Many Wounds.
He's got some well-rounded background as well, not only in boxing but in MMA. But I asked him out that right. I said, Zach, is she as tough as you? And he looked me right in the eye and said, she's tougher.
I would not want to scrap with Kalita Many Wounds. She is, I've seen her doing some of her training, and she hits extremely hard.
And her opponent, she hails from Calgary, Alberta. This is Tracy Abelson.
Tracy Abelson making her way down, and easy way to tell them apart. All in blue is Kalita Many Wounds. All in red, Tracy Abelson. Abelson training at a Beaumont rival for Kalita Many Wounds. 190 pound, 3 rounds, 1.5 minutes.
This fight is 1 minute and 30-second rounds in the 190-pound division. It is brought to you by Decada, Fight Like a Pro. And now, the official fighter introductions. In the blue corner, fighting out of Rival Boxing Club from Cochrane, please welcome Kalita Many Wounds. And in the red corner, fighting out of Beaumont Boxing Club from Calgary, please welcome Tracy Abelson. This bout is contested under amateur rules. The referee in charge is John Barbeau.
So John Barbeau giving some final instructions to our athletes here. 3 1.5 minute rounds at the 190 pound division. Kalita Many Wounds out of the blue corner, Tracy Abelson out of the red corner. And for all of us here, we're excited to have this. It's our 4th fight, our first women's fight in that's going to be happening tonight, and we will see what they bring. Again, not much to know about our fighters because they don't have much experience, so we really are seeing what they have for us.
But look at these two fighters. The two differences, and this happens so much when you get up in the weight classes a little bit. 190 pounds here. You've got a shorter, more powerful fighter in Many Wounds, and of course you've got that longer, leaner look right here from Tracy. We'll see what happens.
Well, Many Wounds laying some body shots, a big right hook. Abelson landed early with a few straight rights, but now it's been Many Wounds. Abelson trying to stem the tide. She is much taller.
So the advice would be here is to, as you saw earlier, throw that jab back up, because you're dealing with a powerhouse puncher in Many Wounds.
Yeah, keeping the space is very important to being able to solve Kalita Many Wounds. And something has fallen out. And it looks like perhaps a contact has fallen out?
I think it's a contact lens that came out of there. She was blinking a bit, and he picked up what looked like a piece of plastic. You can see her blinking right now.
Well, and the contact has been saved, so we're back in. And when Kalita Many Wounds has an opportunity to rest, she's able to land a big straight right leg just like that one. Trying to work her way in, finding a way to solve the range of Abelson.
Yeah, Tracy needs to be able to jab back up. It won't score a lot of points, but it will tire out the opponent, especially somebody who's punching as hard as Kalita Many Wounds is right now. She's swinging back and forth. I guess growing up with those brothers maybe paid off a bit, huh?
Continuing shots that are coming from Kalita Many Wounds. A warning just not to hold on to the arms given to Abelson. And that is the end of round number 1. We've got 3 in, ready for this fight. Round 1 definitely going to Many Wounds.
I think you're right about that, but I have to admit that contact made me a little bit worried right there. So the contact, I'm glad it was saved.
Well, and if you're such a fighter that wants to work inside, you don't necessarily need to know the exact features of the person that you're fighting. Just aim for the blob in the middle.
Yeah, and of course, in this particular case, it's all red. The interesting thing with Tracy is I thought she would back up more. I thought she would punch it back up. And it looks, again, that experience is the key, to be able to adjust to the fight. fight. For example, you can learn to jab all you want to, but if you've got somebody who's got reach on you like Tracy, you're going to have to come inside.
And it is Tracy's footwork that is really, like, her striking when she's at range is great. The problem is that she's not keeping the range. And when she's not keeping the range, that's when Kalita Manywoons can come in and land those big shots that she's landing.
Earlier, Jay had talked about the idea of fast feet underneath Habib to be able to back up, and that's exactly what Tracy's got to do. She's got to get those feet shuffling and working underneath her shoulders to be able to bring herself forward and bring herself back, get back out of range.
And we talked about...
You've shut out your son, Doug. Kalita Manywoons coming forward and just landing big shots that continue to land to the face of Tracy Abelson. Abelson giving ground, but not fast enough. Has to create angles as opposed to going straight backwards.
There's a different expression on Tracy Abelson's face right here. I think she's tired of being hit, and she keeps coming forward against really a powerhouse hitter. The question is, with a minute and a half round and the second round in right now, will you be able to go to a third one and be able to last when you're punching that hard?
And it's a right hand that landed from Manywoons right to the chin of Tracy Abelson.
Abelson's got a pretty good style here to be able to keep those elbows in across her chest, protecting her short ribs, and then keeping those hands up. The key is, of course, is to be able to score some points here, because as Jay talked about from a judging point of view, judges will not only look at the points that are being scored, but the damage that's being done, and that is exactly what Manywoons is pulling out right here.
Manywoons, just like her brother, just like her family. I don't know if you had an opportunity to chat about this yet. I was dealing with a couple of things here for our show, but the Manywoons family from this Tenamation, absolutely tough, very well-trained fighters. So although new to boxing herself, this is not a family who is at all not used to the combat sports game, and you're seeing it here.
She's landed about 5 consecutive right hands, and they've all landed accurately, snapping the head back of Tracy Abelson. And then we are going into our third round. That's got to be another round for Kalita Manywoons.
And I have to agree with that. I think there's no doubt there. The number of shots and the power of the shots answer both the questions you talked about, Jay, from a judging point of view.
It's been very definitive, if you ask me. There's no doubt Manywoons is leading this fight. So at the end of the day, third round, she gets that knockdown. If her opponent gets that knockdown, Tracy can push this forward, may have opportunity to really pull this out. But if you ask me, she really is going to have to score a knockout in order to win this fight.
Well, you look at Kenda here from Beaumont working very hard with Tracy in the corner here right now. What advice do you think she's giving her? Is she saying you've got to be able to score the points here, or is she saying you got to dance out of the way of the damage?
I think she's talking about getting in and out, getting in and out. You can see her pointing down to her hips, but she's telling Tracy, look, you got to throw that snap from the hip. The punch doesn't come from the arm. It comes from the hip. It comes from that coil and that snap. Someone who I can tell you is an incredible puncher in Kendra. That's some good advice to be giving Tracy here in our third and final round.
Well, I think Zach Manywoons was just saying, think that I'm beating you up. Okay, get back in there. That's what I think was going on in the blue corner.
I think he was saying, remember when you beat me up?
Abelson is stepping in, but now eating a right hand for her efforts, returning back with a right hand of her own. And it's just both boxers throwing as hard as they can moving forward.
I hope this crowd, both on Dakota.tv and right here, it will stand up at the end of this. These two girls are throwing down as hard as you can get here at a light heavyweight type division.
I hope the fans out in Drumheller, Alberta are enjoying as well. We got the Vintage Tap House and Neighbors Corner Pub playing us live out there, and we're going to be back out to that region of Alberta, Canada one day soon.
And just some repairs that are going on to the headgear and hair area of Kalita Manywoons. I'm not necessarily sure what it is that they are fixing, but they have to fix it, as the referee saw something that he wasn't happy with.
Jeremy, you and I can't possibly have a comment on somebody adjusting hair. The only guy who can do that at this table is Jay.
My hair doesn't move. It doesn't. I don't need to adjust. It doesn't move. But Manywoons there, making sure she got her gear ready to go. That hair goes in front of the eyes, can impede that vision, and that's a dangerous thing to have when someone's throwing bombs at your face.
Now they're coming forward, and it's some better shots here from Abelson as she's able to stem the tide. But Kalita Manywoons unafraid and continuing to move forward. Reminder not to hit to the back of the head. Here's a good shot that lands for Manywoons.
Manywoons is just relentless, just throwing 1-2s, stepping forward this entire fight.
the thing that many wounds can do as well, and she sucks that chin back to take that hit on the top of the head. That headgear doesn't help a whole lot from rattling your brains, but she's able to take that shot. The other side of this is Tracy Abelson. I thought she was going to come in here, be one of those fighters who fought way on the outside. Here in this round, she's standing toe-to-toe with a tough girl. You got to love that from a boxing standpoint.
Many Wounds is starting to show that gas tank. She's looking a little tired. There's not as much oomph behind her shots. This is Tracy's opportunity to make her pay, but she's really got to utilize some distance, and that's it.
That is the end of the round, and Kalita Many Wounds being told by her brother to put her hands up, and that was a heck of a fight between these two ladies. Kalita Many Wounds dominated the action, but Tracy Abelson showed in the third round that she was here to fight.
Short up to the ring to present the belt. Mike Short, up to the ring, please.
I gotta tell you that when you see, I don't care who the fighters are, I don't care what the weight class is, I don't care what the gender is. When you see two fighters in there to adjust like that, not around the idea of the strategy, but around the idea of toe-to-toe and going at it. I mean, Tracy Abelson obviously had been trained in a different style of fighting, wanted to fight a different fight, but adjusted right there to give us the entertainment that Fight Like a Pro is all about.
Looks like we just need to get some gloves removed before we have our official decision, but you can't be more correct, Doug, when it comes to just styles making the fight in this instance. It was Kalita Many Wounds just taking away the game plan of Tracy Abelson, and it looks like a victory, but we'll find out the particulars. Here's Jay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the official decision. The winner by unanimous decision in the blue corner, Kalita.
Make sure to catch us next time on Coast to Coast Sports.
Hey, my name is Jason from West Rock Battery. Today we're going to talk about off-grid solar energy products and services that we offer here for nearly 30 years, since about 1979. Maybe that's over 30 years. That's almost 40 years. We've been installing and supplying components for off-grid solar. We can power your RV, your trailer, your cottage, your remote home. Pretty much anything that you don't have hydro for, you can power with solar. We have solar lighting systems like you see here. This is a very small, simple motion sensitive solar light. Inexpensive. You can, power, light up your pathway, light up a backyard. Farms use them, light up the barn in the back. All you need is a south-facing exposure for the panel. The built-in battery will come on automatically whenever it senses motion. We also do solar billboard sign lighting systems. So we line up your highway sign. We can do big 40-foot signs out on the highway. Cottage solar power is probably the most popular. Anybody who is looking at running a generator as their primary source of power will want to consider solar. It can be far less costly and long-lasting than constantly feeding fuel into a gas or diesel generator. So if you have any questions or any solar info that you're looking for, give us a call or click the link. Thank you.